With the time I have, I will just try and see if I can just take two of the laws. The 15 invaluable laws of growth. 15 invaluable laws of growth. This is a session with BIC Farms core team members. And then everyone attending, you're a member of the core team. So welcome, and then we continue. Now, what do you want out of life? It's a question I think everyone should ask. What do I want out of life? If you don't know what you want, how will you know when you have found it? How will you know when you have it? What do you want out of life? What will you attempt to do if you knew you couldn't fail? If you know I cannot fail, failure is not it's not in the thing. What will you attempt to do? Think about it in terms of job, life, different things. If you know you cannot fail, what will you attempt to do? There's something about goal. A goal that is casually set is freely abandoned at the first obstacle. Imagine somebody saying, I will walk from Abeokuta to Osogbo to go and collect 50,000 naira. Abeokuta to Osogbo to go and collect 50,000 naira. And they told you can only collect the money by 12 on Monday, and you started to work at 6. By the time you walk from Abeokuta to Omiadio, will the money still look important to you? What will be the question you'll be telling yourself? I should walk from Abeokuta to Osogbo. Is something wrong with my head because of 50,000? If I collect the 50,000, am I the one that will spend it? When they leave me in the hospital and other people will spend the money. At the first obstacle, you will abandon the goal. But imagine you were told to come and collect 100 million in Osogbo. And you trek to Ibadan and there is riot. And they mistakenly catch you or put you, or rioters or police hold you. And you were flogged, tear gassed, locked up for 30 minutes because of false identity. And you kept saying, I'm not one of them. I am going to Osogbo. They sent me on an errand. And they said, prove it. And you bring out something to show. And they said, oh, sorry, we didn't know. Please, you can go. But before they said we didn't know, they had beaten hell out of you. All your legs, all your body. If you come out of that short lockup, will you continue the journey? Somebody answer me. Will you continue the journey?
No, sir.
Who said no? Let's be fast. Who said no? Is that Femi?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who said no?
No, I didn't get that properly.
Who said no?
No, I said no initially. I didn't get the question properly.
You are going to Osogbo and you went to go and collect 100 million and you entered that problem in Ibadan and they beat hell out of you, flog you, battered your leg, your body, and they release you. You still have 4 hours to go. You will continue the journey or you won't continue the journey?
I'll get there.
You will get there because it is 100 million you are going to collect.
Yes, the goal is big.
But if it is 50,000 you are going to collect, you will continue the journey.
I won't.
So when your goal is not casually set, when it is well set, the picture is clear, the goal is big enough, then challenges don't count. Obstacles will not deter you because you have a clear goal of what you are doing and where you are growing. So growth, personal growth, life growth does not just happen. It's not accidental. It's not accidental. Growth is happiness. It's not accidental. It doesn't happen like that. Listen, unhappiness is not knowing what you want and you are killing yourself to get it. A lot of people are doing that to themselves. A lot of people are looking for happiness, but what they are doing is not what will give them happiness. Unhappiness is not knowing what exactly you want. What do you want out of life? It should be clear. It should be clear. What do you want out of life? If you don't know it, you will be chasing what you don't need to chase. If you don't, you will be running after things that are ephemeral, things that are not really what you want. Then when you now see it, the question will be, so what next? When I went for my certification in the US last week, a friend of mine called me and said, sorry, when I left the US, I just spent 5 days. I left the US on Friday. I was going back to Canada, and he called and said, "You've left?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You're a strange guy." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "All of us dreamt to come to this town and die there." I said, "That's your life dream. That's not my own life dream. It's not my life dream. Whatever I'm doing, I've made the picture is clear from the beginning. I'm not in Canada to come and hustle and survive in Canada. I only need whatever potential it gives to give access to the work that I'm doing with my life. It's just a ticket to other things. Some other people, this is all they are looking for. So you can see how our happiness is formed. Somebody wants to die there. So you must be able to define what you want. And I want you to put it down. After this session, go and make it clear. Listen to me. If you don't have it well written, you will be chasing what you don't need to chase. Yorùbá máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan pé ẹni tó ń wá owó lọ tó pàdé iyì lọ́nà tó bá rówó náà kọ́ iyì kan ló máa fi rà. The man looking for money and found fame and found recognition. If he gets the money, is it not fame? Is it not recognition he will use the money to buy? So sometimes you want to, I want 10 million. But 10 million is actually not what you want. You need 10 million to get what you want. Imagine somebody invested $100,000, $150,000. What's the name of this guy? You all know him. You can go and check his YouTube page. Tayo something. He said he wanted to get into the US and it was difficult. So somebody told him to go and buy the passport of one island, St. Kitts. And he said he bought the passport for $150,000. Jesus Christ, $150,000 is almost 300 million naira just to enter America. So you understand what I'm saying? So you must make it clear. Write it down. Now, what is he looking for? Just passage. So that is the story of Ẹni tó ń wá owó tó pàdé iyì lọ́nà. So he is looking for money to buy passage. But some other people get that passage easily without even spending the money. So now somebody else looking for passage and does not have $150,000, but he gets the passage. Has he not gotten the same thing? If his vision is clear, this is what I'm looking for. So unhappiness is not knowing what you want and you are killing yourself to get it. If you plan on being anything less than you are capable of being, you'll probably be unhappy all the days of your life. Listen to me, I say it every time. Your potential is what you can do that you have not done yet. Your potential is what you can do that you have not done yet. You see, I'm not envious and I'm not a jealous person. I have learned that control is the key of life. For example, somebody asked me a question and I said, I don't like that question. You will be creating a sort of impasse that does not even exist. That it's about hydroponic work in Nigeria and all that. But I can say this with my team. People can say anything, but the truth is the truth. You understand what I'm saying? I know the work we have done. Others can come and copy it. But the person copying knows is copying. I will see people talk today, voucher, blah, 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 blah. Everybody doing voucher knew they copied BIC. Am I right? We are using rice husk. We are doing this. Anybody can say any story. But nobody thought that rice husk can be sustainable in growing crop 100%. Fully. We did it. We are the one that made it happen. So anybody can say anything. It's just sad we are in a country where people don't have self-worth. So they want to copy others. They think it's that's what gives them self-worth. But within them, they will not be happy because they know they are lying to themselves. And it's not the truth, though. This is not the truth, though. This is not what happened, though. But it's none of my business. It not stop us. And I'll tell you why. In the course of this training, so if you plan of being anything less than you can be, you'll probably not be happy. See, whatever we have achieved so far in BIC is no longer our potential. Let me tell you that. You don't know what is in my head. Your potential is what you can do that you have not done yet. So all that we can do that we have not done yet, that's our potential. And I want to do all I can do. Everything God has given me capacity to do are the things I want to do. And I'm going to do them. So there is still a lot to be done. We have not even scratched the surface of the work we are doing. Human beings are the only species that don't intimately strive to be their best. They don't strive for their full potential. There is a lot loaded in you. But you know, when you don't even see yourself as somebody who can give things, who can produce certain results, you look down on yourself. You look down on yourself. Every animals, lions, just name it, they go out to give their best. I do this thing with some people who do personal mentoring with me. I said, anytime you have a conflict in your head about why you should not be serious with what you are doing, I said, just go on Animal Channel. Watch how the lion gets its daily bread. The lion will stretch itself out to chase a smaller animal. There was this video on one of the animal channels where two lions were eating maybe a pig or a deer alive. They were bringing out his intestine. It was a gory picture. And the person was like, my God. I said, see, don't get scared. That is life. Animal eats animal. If the lion does not eat that animal, it will not survive. So that animal must tell itself, I must not allow myself to be eaten. But as far as life is concerned, other animals are looking for how to eat you. And God created them. You need to understand that. So how you must not be eaten is in your hand. I say that all the time. What is control? Control is we won't wait for you to set the tone of our life. Within the ambience of what we can do, we will get our job. If I will do all I can to make sure we have work to be done, but do all you can to make sure you deliver, so that we don't have to wait and be begging. We are begging government for contract. We are begging human beings for contract. No. Value does not beg. And if it's not clear, how will you do that? Let me talk about the philosophy. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices that you make. In the long run, we shape our life and we shape ourselves by our choices. A lot of people tiptoe through life. I'm a yawning. They want to make it safely to death. I don't want to be hard. I don't want people to hear me. I don't want people to hear me. Well, one of the things I'm doing with my life is I'm writing a story. I'm telling many of you seated here, listen, you can be anywhere in this world. You can start from nowhere and be somewhere. You are a core staff. You all attended my dad's burial. That place my dad has his house was a village. Ilakoro was a complete bush. We were living in Agoiwe, close to the university, when he wanted a farm, place he could do some things, and he moved into that bush. He was the first non-indigenous of the town to move there. The king said, please take as much land as you wanted. I'm sorry, Fisayo Kayode, the story has changed now, but that time he was attending Deeper Life. As at that time, the story was, the doctrine then did not give room for being a major landowner. And my dad only took 1 acre. He could have taken 50 acres. Because they were telling him to pay any amount he wanted to pay. The king just wanted outsiders to come into his town. So he only took 1 acre. That's that place. But the dot of life is connected backward. Maybe if he had taken 50, it will have been a different type of agriculture that we will have mastered. Because being 1 acre, the land was limited, but it opened us up to urban farming that I am doing today. And I've been able to influence a lot of people. Because in that compound, you cannot imagine all the things that were done, including that house. We built the house with him. He engaged workers, but he would pay them money and say, pay my children. We were part of the people that molded the blocks, that laid the blocks. We hated him. I was angry. I was bitter. We lay pipe, but we didn't know we were learning. I didn't know those things were entering me. Plumbing work, just name it. Until later in future that I understood all that. Now, where I'm going is, it was the one that invited. Opposite our house is Pastor Akonde. Pastor Akonde is the district pastor of Deeper Life in the whole of the Ijebu North. What's this man's name in Ibadan? You are Professor. I can't remember. Quite a lot of people. It now began to bring in so many people, and the entire area now got dominated by the university style. They now call it Campus Avenue, lecturers' quarters, and all that. Now, where I'm going is, that was then. You understand what I'm saying? So now that is where I can say the formation part of my life was. But I had a bigger dream. I saw myself beyond that place. I saw myself beyond that place. I had a picture of the world in my head. I didn't know how it will happen. But I was just following one thing or the other. You understand? So some people will say, there are things you don't. I said, no, I'm telling a story with my life. You don't need to come out of senator's house, president's house, just name it. You can come from anywhere and get to anywhere as long as the picture is clear. As long as the picture is clear. And that is it. And the platform in your hand, it's enough to take you there. Many times people don't know. So I'm sharing this with you that you found yourself where you are. Don't think you are disadvantaged. And stop tiptoeing through life. Make the best of it. Every level we find ourselves is a place we need to be so that we can get to the next place in life. Now, let me ask you this question. What will you do if you know that you will fail, but it can lead to success? Success is failing over again and again. I can't count how many things I have failed in, but I don't give up. I am not easily crushed. If you don't know any, you know the story of Awuwo. I can sit down and analyze what caused this failure. Put the blame where it should be. Okay, this is the reason. But move on. Move on. Many thought it would be the end of our life. I hear all sorts of stories. And some are still saying, but move on. Fail again. It didn't end there. You know what happened in Oyo? You know what happened in Ede? Now, genuineness, despite everything, being genuine in the spirit, what one is doing. I am not looking for how to dupe customer. I am genuinely trying to give my best. So that is all that God is looking for. And I can tell you, you have not seen anything. We have not started at all. Yes. So fail, try to fail again and succeed. But don't do less than you can do. The last time I was at the farm, I was telling Femi, I don't like a situation whereby you lay off, it's undulating, you can't level the ground. Let people come somewhere and know that these people put their minds to this work. They finish, the test, everything. Fail and fail forward again. So I'm going to quickly mention 2 laws of growth. I hope I can get to 2 because I don't want to spend time. The first law is the law of intentionality. Write it down. Very good. The law of intentionality. And what does it say? It says that growth doesn't just happen. You don't grow accidentally. Listen, I know why I am where I am. I know what I've done. I know what I'm doing. Growth doesn't just happen. You don't just grow. No. What is success? Success is just a few acts of self-discipline practiced daily over a reasonable period of time. That is what success is. A few acts of self-discipline. Discipline to wake up to learn. Discipline to do certain things. Discipline to set goals. Discipline to think. Discipline to think about the job you have done. Why didn't we get the best result from this assignment? You discipline yourself to think. That is what success is. Self-discipline, practice over a period of time. Now, what is failure? Now that you know what success is. Failure is also just a few errors in judgment. Practice daily over a reasonable period of time. So both success and failure are something you practice daily over a reasonable period of time. For success, few acts of self-discipline. For failure, few errors in judgment. But practice over a reasonable period of time. That is what failure is. So the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better is if you are growing today. If you are not growing, tomorrow will not be better. Let me tell you that. Because you must be intentional. You must be intentional. You must grow intentionally. Because you intentionally eat, right? So your mental capacity, how do you grow it? And your mind is what determines everything about you. So how do you grow you? You must be intentional. You must be intentional. So you either step forward into growth or you step back into safety. There is no middle ground. It's like standing in the middle of an expressway. You know what can happen. You either step forward into growth or you step back into safety. What do you want? So there are something called growth traps. I will quickly mention some of them. Now, growth traps are caused by growth gaps. These are gaps in growth. Number one of it, I try to be very fast, is the assumption gap. When you assume you will grow automatically without doing anything, I will just grow. I will just be wiser. I will just be wiser. You know, things will just happen like that. We have knowledge gap. Knowledge gap is you don't know how to grow. Somebody assumes you will grow. That's the gap. You don't grow with assumption. Knowledge gap. You don't know what to do to grow. The timing gap. It's not the right time to begin. It's not the right time to begin. For so many reasons, excuses can be given. It's not the right time to begin. The mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistake. If I say I should grow, if I say I should do this, I can make a mistake. If I say our work should be better, I can make a mistake. So there is a gap called the mistake gap. You have the expectation gap. Expectation gap is you thought it would be easier than this. I remember when we changed the thickness of our steel to 3 mm. Was it 3 mm? Yes, we changed the thickness, but we did not add something else to that frame. And we believe this is good enough. We still had a crisis. We were genuine. We had the expectation. But until we acted and we saw what happened, we didn't settle on it. Oh yeah, add this to it. Add this to it. So expectation gap, we thought it would be easier. We thought we won't spend up to this. There's a client that we did a work for in Ikorodu. When I think about it, I just laugh at his stupidity. Despite the fact that he has not paid his money completely, it was the time we discovered certain gaps and we had to add to it. He has not paid enough. As he said, no, hold on with the job. Add material to it. It looks stupid. But see, whatever we do, our expectation, if we have issues and we don't work on it, it continues to be a gap. So there is expectation gap. There is comparison gap. When you think others are better than you, you compare. There is inspiration gap. I don't feel like doing it. Nobody will motivate you to do something. You must feel like from your inside. And there is the gap called the perfection gap. I have to find the best way forward before I can start. What is the best way to do this? We call something over analysis or analysis leading to paralysis. It happens to those who are trying to be perfect. What is the best way to get this done? So these are growth traps. They trap your growth. When you are thinking, oh, what's the time to start? I don't want to make mistake. As you keep having this gap, they trap your growth. Listen to this. I can lead you out of the trap, but I cannot carry you out. And that's what leadership is all about. I can lead you out. I can show you the way out. Follow me. Jesus said to his disciples, follow me and I will make you. I can lead you out, but I cannot carry you out. But to lead you up, you need to be aware of growth traps so that you are not trapped. So that you are not trapped. It's not going to be easy. It's not. But you must be aware of these traps. Because of time, because I just want this to be 1 hour, I would mention the second law of growth. Is the law of pain. The law of pain. Spoken about the law of intentionality, growth must be intentional. Must be intentional. Now I'm making you go through this, but it must become intentional for you. What you will need to do to move forward, to grow your life daily, I can't impose them on you. I can't put them on you. It must be intentional. You must want it. So the second law is called the law of pain. Pain, P-A-I-N. Good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. Listen to that statement again. Good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. I'm sharing laws with you. Laws are the same everywhere. It's a universal law. It is the law of growth in Canada. It is the law of growth in the UK. It is the law of growth in America, all over the world. I practice these things and my expectations are coming to pass. If you practice it, you will share the story anywhere you go. The law of pain. Now, when you manage a bad experience well, you grow more. Think about the bad experiences we have had. As an entrepreneur, I can't count the number of experiences I have had. There are some I'm still managing. Experience with staff, experience with clients, experience with government, with things around. Think about experiences with your own life. You just think about it. How did you manage it? I remember we were taking greenhouse to a client. Is it the Abraka work? You know all the things that happened. How we paid for transportation almost twice. Not even almost twice. How we paid twice. Because I paid another money for transportation just to solve the client's expectation. At the time, the client thought we were just deceiving him. He's not in Nigeria. He had paid to us. He said we were just lying. How can you say you have moved to Greenhouse and it has spent 2 weeks on the road? No, listen to it. Does this sound normal? You two think about it. Does this sound normal? He said, Nigeria has happened to you. So people began to say, they have duped you. They're just looking for how to delay you, blah, blah, blah. But I kept telling him the situation of things until he came there and met them where the truck parked after we have transloaded it to another one. And he said, we hand it over to you. When he took it, what he saw, what he went through to get it to his village, he himself called to say, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know it was this difficult. Now, imagine if we did not manage this bad experience well. I know so many experiences, I know so many situations that happen between even clients and some of our staff. I as a person, I have to look at the big picture. Okay, let's handle it this way. When you manage bad experience well, you are growing because something is happening to you. Every problem in life introduces a person to himself. You don't know yourself yet, encounter problems. Problems introduce you to yourself. Every single problem you encounter from time to time tells you who you are. It's an introduction of you to you. So don't run away from problems and don't look away from it. Why is this happening? If something keeps happening, why is it happening? Try to understand. It is introducing you to you. You see, facing difficulties in life is inevitable. There will always be difficulty. There will always be problem. But learning from difficulty is optional. It's optional. Many don't learn from trouble. They don't learn from difficulties of life. It is optional to learn from your problem. It is optional. A lot of people are crushed by difficulty, but many learn from it. Oh, look at this issue. What am I taking out of this? It's the law of pain. It can be painful, but are you learning from it? 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 So it can be painful. It can be painful. Let me add one more growth. Still have 10 minutes. It's the law of environmental. The law of environmental. It says that growth thrives in conducive environment. Thank God I'm talking to farmers. You know, when you transplant a seedling, what are the things that affect the thriving, the growth of the seedling? In fact, let's start with a seed. You put the seed in the seedling tray. When you put a seed in potting soil and you put a seed in rice husk, which one grows better? Which one grows faster? The environment. Even though rice husk can grow, but when is the best time to use it for growing? When you plant seeds and you see that the leaves is turning yellow, what is it telling you? Oh, leaf that should spread is looking up. Femi sent a picture to me. He said, I should look at this seedling. Are they okay? I said, no. When leaves should open up to light, it's looking up. What do you think is happening? When seedling should be growing, it's stretching. The environment affects growth. So growth thrives in a conducive environment. We all know that. I did a short video on the YouTube channel. I showed a video of a particular seedling. They were killed. They were grown at the same time, and some of them were transplanted. Some were left in the seedling tray. 1 week after, the difference was phenomenal. The ones that were transplanted had blossomed. They had thrived. They had grown bigger leaves. You would not believe that it was the same set of plants. It was the same set of plants. You see, some people go out to look for money, and they go into an environment that can never allow them to grow, an environment that crushes them. Growth thrives in a conducive environment. Certain environment is an environment for growth. At work, at home, is this place offering me opportunity to grow? See, there are things you are getting that you may never get again if you change your environment. Is this place helping me to grow? Am I learning? Are there life experiences that is happening to me? Environment. You know, you're a farmer now. You know how important the substrate. Why do we have characteristics of good substrate? Porosity, cation exchange, water holding capacity. Oh, let's put microbial inoculant. Let's allow these microbes to thrive at the root zone so that the plant can grow, can convert nutrients, can break it down, can turn it to food. Environmental is the most important influence on personal growth. I want to appreciate God that I had a growth environment. I didn't even know when I was growing up. I didn't even know. I didn't even know, but I had it. It's something that, you know, because if you miss it, forget it. How many of you have heard the story of the shark that was thrown in an aquarium? The shark cannot grow beyond that environment. But take that same shark, throw it in the ocean. It will increase the size. It will increase in size. It will increase in size. So there is a level you can grow to based on environment. The environment affects your growth. So environment is the most important influence on personal growth. And not just on personal growth, on people. So people are the most important part of the environment. Who are the people you spend your time with? Somebody said you will be some of 5 people that you spend your time with 5 years from now. Who do you spend your time with? Who do you spend your time with? When I say spend your time with, it doesn't mean just your colleagues at work. Who do you intentionally spend your time with? Who? Somebody was sharing a testimony with me, not even in Nigeria. He said, do you know I started following you 2019? And this is where I am today. So I was doing a life catalog. I was cataloging my life 3 weeks ago. And I was like, what influenced me? What are the things that made me to do some of the things I'm doing and that has helped me to where I am today? And I discovered that, wow, I started following this guy. And before I knew it, I began to pick some things and look at where I am today. Who do you spend your time with? Who do you listen to? What do you intentionally read? Who do you intentionally read? People are a major part of the environment, they affect your growth. You can't be spending your time with complainers. You see, I tell people on social media that they should stop wasting their time complaining about the president, complaining about the country. You will complain, tire. Because if you look at the root cause of Nigeria problem, you will discover that no president can come now and solve it. It's that simple. But pick another habit. Become an optimist. That's the first thing. Become blind. No matter how terrible, just tell yourself, I refuse to allow this situation to dampen. Let me tell you, it's that evil will not be around you. It's like they said, you cannot stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can say you can't touch on my head. There will be daily problems. There will be daily challenges. But you are the one that will tell yourself, no, I'm not going to allow this. I'm not going to allow this to affect me. I am the one that is not going to allow that. Listen to this. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice your gift. What is the best you can give per time? What is the best you can give per time? You may not be able to give money, but there's something you can give. There's something you can give to yourself. A mentor of mine said, when our work is done with God in mind, then the work becomes worship. Let me repeat that. When your work is done with God in your mind, oh, I'm doing this unto God, so your work becomes worship. That's how you worship God. You worship God by being your best, by giving your best. And what makes you give your best is affected by the environment you put yourself in. So I will be stopping with those three laws today. We'll continue from there next Monday. I want you to go over all we said. I want you to think and practice it. A man that knows how to read and does not read is not different from the one that does not know how to read, though. The difference in your life will only come when you do what you are supposed to do. Not when you know what to do and you refuse to do it. No. It will only come when you do what you are supposed to do. So don't learn and stay. Learn and apply. And you will be dazed at how growth will start to show gradually in you. Gradually. It's a daily thing. You must be intentional. You must be willing to endure pain. And you must give. Understand that the environment affects you. Environment affects you. Give conscious attention to your environment. If something is happening to you, look at the environment. I will stop here. You can stop the recording. I believe we will do something with